It is Black Friday. It's Black Friday, and I don't usually do shows on Friday, but I haven't been here for quite a week. For quite about a week, I think. And I should be wearing black. Black Friday, wearing black on Black Friday. I should have that. I should have that, but I didn't do it. We're gonna hope to get through the show. I don't know what's going on with my encoder. I have to get a new one or something, or figure out how to whatever I need to do with the system, but we're gonna get through it. We have quite a few topics today, and we're just gonna do it. Okay, we're just gonna do it. It's Friday. I have low energy because I just got off of work. Just got off work. But anyway, welcome back to the Daily Dose with Dez. I'm Dez, your host. This is Pretty Girls of Sports, Pretty Girls Media. We're gonna dive into some things. You know, I gotta do the eds and flows and all the other good stuff. I feel like I'm a little off my game, but we're gonna be all right, okay? But we have topics like Shedeur is under criticism again. He didn't piss some more people off. Daniel Jones is facing skepticism again, but I gotta take up for him just a little bit. There has been an update with the UVA player from the incident back in 2022. And again, I know that the Georgia Bulldogs are playing right now. They're trying to be dogs on top. But there's a dog that had been arrested and he's facing felony charges. So we're going to talk about that too. We have a little bit more to talk about with Rivalry Week for college football. So stay tuned. Don't go anywhere. Get a snack. Grab a cup. This is a grape juice. Okay. So grab some grape juice and let's get into it. And I will see you guys right after this. Admit it. Turn it up, turn it up, turn it loud. Got you feeling so proud. This is how we do it now. Daily Dose with Dez. Got you coming back for more. Okay. He keeps asking me to turn on my video settings, and it's like, if I turn down the settings anymore, listen. If I turn down even any more, we're gonna be over here looking like pixelation. Okay? Like, what is the problem? What is the problem? This is what I get for updating it. I feel like every time I update this, every time, it's always a problem. Always a problem. So we're gonna hope that it don't be glitching over here. But I had to see if it was glitching on the other side. I previously made, did I talk about this? I'm not sure if I talked about this. This is Kris Boyd, and I did. He is a current player with the New York Jets. He was pewed, okay, in New York City, recovered. He actually just went home, but it has been reported that he has had to return back to the hospital due to more health issues. At this time, they're still looking for the person of interest who caused this. And I think it's really hard in New York, to be honest. I think like other places you can see why I may like move much faster. But I feel like there's always eyes in the sky somewhere, and somebody has to know something. That's my brain is just taking me there. But he had to return back to the hospital. So we are sending our prayers up to him because anything could happen. Right. And especially when you had a GSW and you've had to fight for your life and you were in critical condition. So he really has to like continue to fight for his life. There's been no other details exactly on what are the health issues. So I don't have those details as of yet, but we're going to keep you posted on this one because this is just so senseless. And the New York Jets, I will say they have done great with just coming out and talking about it, and they are like trying to get down to the bottom of it, and also keeping his privacy, because a lot of times some people just go and they just run off at the lips, and it's like not everything needs to be known, not everything needs to be public. So I do think they're doing a great job with handling this situation, but prayers up to him that whatever he's going through, whatever he's fighting through, that he just continues to move in an upward trajectory towards recovery. Okay, because I do not want to have to make a rest in peace video, because we need him alive and well. Okay, now we are going to talk about this incident. So back in 2022, a lot of you may not remember, but I did, kind of cover this some way in 2023. But this young man, hold on, because I want to make sure I get, you know, a lot of what I'm probably like suffering through too. It's like all these freaking tabs open. All these tabs. Okay, so this is Christopher Darnell Jones Jr. He is a former University of Virginia player, student. He was a walk-on, and he has now. Well, before we talk about that, in this incident, him and his classmates, his teammates, were coming back from a trip to Washington D.C. It was a class trip. I remember the bus and everything, and he decided to open fire on them. And there was a lot of speculation when it first came out, like, oh, he was being bullied by them, or oh, they treated him different because he was a walk on. So whatever they had to say, right? Regardless of what it was, it was dead wrong, and they were literally coming off of a bus from a field trip, right? So whatever happened, I don't think it should have warranted anybody losing their lives, but unfortunately, he um, took the lives of Devin Chandler, Lavelle Davis Jr., and Deshaun Perry, and he also injured two other students in the process. So this has been going on for a while. It's gotten really, really hush, really quiet about it, because that's just the nature of the beast when it comes to news and things. But it has come back out that he went through the trial, and he has now been sentenced to 5 life sentences plus 23 additional years for this incident. So justice will be served, because he will be going to jail. He's not going to make it out. 5 life sentences. He's not going nowhere. He's not getting out. He's not going anywhere. He's going to have to literally live with what he did every single day for the rest of his life. So that is the details of that. In this guilty plea, or let me go back to the two other players, were Mike Hollins, and it was a track athlete, Marley Morgan. They were wounded, but they did survive. Mike Hollins did go on to play the following year with UVA, and it was just such a major thing of him coming back and being able to play, but it's like after suffering such a trauma. So, we, and I remember talking about it too, we over here was very supportive of Mike Collins and really wanted to see him succeed because of everything that he was going through. But with the guilty plea, Jones pled guilty in November of 2024 to 3 counts of first degree murder, 2 counts of aggravated malicious wounding, and 5 counts of using a firearm in the commission of a felony. And then it says in Alberley County Circuit Court, Judge Cheryl Higgins imposed the maximum allowed penalty after a 5-day sentencing hearing happened November in 2025. The 5 life sentences are to be served consecutively. Okay, and it says under Virginia law, Jones may be eligible for geriatric parole when he turns 60. And then it says the defense highlighted Jones's traumatic childhood and mental health issues, arguing for a more lenient sentence. However, the prosecution successfully argued for the maximum sentence, and the judge stated there was no proof the victims had bullied Jones as he claimed. The sentencing brings a legal conclusion to a tragedy that deeply affected the UVA community. The victims' families and survivors, including Mike Hollins, expressed that while the sentence provided some with peace in knowing Jones cannot harm anyone else, it cannot bring back their loved ones. And that's totally expected because at the end of the day, you did lose people. Not only did you lose your teammates, people lost their children. And although, yes, he will be going to prison for literally the rest of his life, although, as they said, that he can go up for a parole when he's age 60, I don't foresee that happening because of the nature of the crime and because the judge in the ruling said that there was actually no evidence that he was being bullied by these athletes, which led to that heinous crime. So I don't think that he'll be up for parole, but I think that he will spend the rest of his life in prison. And of course, you cannot replace somebody who's no longer with us. That's permanent, right? And it's, I know there's mixed feelings about it and everything, but this update comes and it is a now one closure to many cases that are out there that really need to be highlighted and talked about. But justice is served when it comes to these UVA families and that community. So just wanted to give an update on that. Okay. Now this instance, which I have to bring it up, I think I just closed it out. Oh shoot, I did. Okay, let me see. Yeah, this one was okay. Because when I saw this, I said, oh, this was not what I expected. In Birmingham, Alabama. So this gentleman here, this gentleman here is Daniel Mincy, and he is facing felony charges for attempted. Hold on, we're gonna start over because the computer about to die. Hold on, y'all. It's about to be a real Black Friday. We about to be in the dark. Hold on. It says I'm charging like 400 devices up in here. Okay. It's the video is freezing. Come on now. Jeez Louise. All I want to do is just get my video over with. Come on. Okay, I think he's back. Anyway, Daniel Mincy is now facing attempted murder charges after allegedly stabbing 2 teammates hours before kickoff. This happened at breakfast. He woke up and chose violence. Okay, he is facing aggravated assault and is being held on a $90,000 bond. This is at UAPB. Okay, he is a red shirt freshman from Pompano Beach, Florida. I believe that's how you pronounce it. He's facing one charge of aggravated assault and another charge of attempted murder after he, like I said, allegedly stabbed his 2 teammates at the Football Operations Center hours before they had the game against South Florida. So if you were looking for him out there, he wasn't out there regardless. He was red shirt anyway. Okay. And basically they did like somebody online somewhere did an online inmate inquiry from the Jefferson County Jail, and it showed that Mincy was arrested by UAPB campus police before 1 p.m. and he is still in the jail. Okay. He don't have an attorney right now. and this happened 3 days ago. So today he could possibly have an attorney. He could, but as of 3 days ago, he did not. He have no attorney. Nobody was there, and nobody bonded him out. Where's his family? That's my question. And this ain't no joke. Where's his family? Okay. UAPB officials released a statement Saturday prior to the game confirming that the two players were injured and a third was in police custody, obviously Daniel. At that time, when they first made the statement, they didn't want to release any names. They didn't want to go out into any details, obviously, because they were trying to remain focused. Oh gosh, we have a game to go play in 3 hours. We have to move quickly with this. The court records obtained by the Associated Press identified that the players who were stabbed are Joshua Underwood and Josiah Peterson, both defensive linemen. Underwood is a freshman from Alabama, and Peterson is a redshirt sophomore from New Jersey. When they spoke to the media, the athletic director, Mark Ingram, said the decision to play Saturday came after careful consideration and after conversations with the players. They still wanted to play. They still wanted to do their thing, so they went ahead and did it. And there is no... Both players have been released from hospital. There's been no actual, they were stabbed because of this. Yeah, the article does not explicitly say why this whole thing happened. I'm gonna need to go down there to jail and I'm gonna do my own investigating, because where is the rest of the article? Where is the article? What, and this is all three articles, all three of them don't really be saying nothing. Okay, Daniel's out of jail. This was just updated. So now Daniel, though, is an offensive lineman, and he had beef with the defensive lineman. Something was going on. Where's his family at, though? I need to know where the family's at, because, oh my goodness. He transferred to UAB this year after being at Kentucky. Listen, Kentucky, we've had too many incidents with people going on. What is going on in Kentucky? What is going on there? Y'all messing people up and y'all send them somewhere else, and then they messing up their environments that they're in. What is going on? Yeah, so they're not trying to really tell us what's going on. I'm gonna have to go down there myself. I'm gonna have to go figure out what is going on. And that just leads me to say, I am going to start getting into more investigative journalism. If you hear my heat, it's booming. Okay, it's booming because it was super duper cold outside. Let me go turn the thing off. I'll be right back. I'm going to go down there because we need the real deal Holyfield. Y'all know I bring y'all the real deal stuff. I want to get into it. I want to know what was going on. Were they bullying him? Were they, trying to beat him up? Did they steal something from him? Nothing. Then let me preface this too. Nothing should have warranted him poking him up. Nothing. Right? Nothing. But I do want to know what was going on. What was going through his head? What was he thinking? Who saw it? Like has to be more to the story. And when you're trying to basically like put it out there, you're trying to report, trying to figure out, like, you don't have anything to leverage. You have anything to go off of. But then, people run with their opinions and everything. But I think this is absolutely crazy. And I want to know what was going on. So I'm going to keep my eyes on this one. Because, dude, you just ruined your career. Ruin your career. Obviously, he's not on the roster anymore. They took him off. And he still has to face the charges and he still has to go to court. I do hope, though, that his family is somewhere and they are getting him some, they're getting him some mental health help. We do not want to see another situation where an athlete, a player, a person in general takes their lives because they feel like they can't face what is coming next for them. So I do hope that he gets some help. I do hope that his family is beside him, telling him that, you have to face the music, you have to face your consequences, but that is not the end of your life. It may be the end of your career, but it's not the end of your life. And hey, if y'all need a chaplain or y'all need somebody with some mental health services and things, just go ahead and call me. I can come help them. This is crazy. Seriously. But we have to do better. We have to do better. We just have to do better. And speaking of having to do better, if you are a Georgia Bulldogs fan, you're probably not watching right now because you're probably watching the Dogs go against the Yellow Jackets right now. The traditional old-fashioned hate. Yeah, you're probably watching that. And that's cool too. But log in. Because y'all have to answer some questions for me at this point. I don't even want to talk to the athletes no more. I want to talk to the fandom, the supporters, the everybody. I need to know, is everything okay? Is everything okay? Because I'm not understanding. I feel like every season, and I thought I was actually going to have a year where I wasn't actually bringing up disciplinary issues with Georgia. That's a lie because I brought up one earlier in the year. But he wasn't actually a player. He was a recruit being recruited, and that the way that the headlines did that, I didn't too much like that because you had people thinking that he was on the roster. But this young man is actually in uniform. There's pictures of him being in the uniform and everything. So, I mean, but again, who knows? But I want to know, is everything going okay? Because it's giving traumatic responses. And they need something. I think they really need to really get to the bottom of whatever's going on over there. I feel like every season we're seeing multiple players from Georgia in the news. A lot of times it's the driving and it's doing, doing 80 and a 30, 100 and a 35, but they're doing it recklessly, and or they may be intoxicated or under some type of influence, not all the time, but sometimes. And it's just like they have no other ways to relieve their stress but to be speeding down the roads in Athens. Gotta get it figured out. But anywho, this young man here that you see on my screen, this is Nair Daniels, and he was arrested after fleeing. Let's start over because I feel like I was just saying too many words. UGA player Nair Daniels was arrested after fleeing police, and he is facing a lot of different charges. Like, young man, you already know you cannot flee the police, and then to do it in Georgia, you should know better. You have to know better. Okay. So, and he's young too. Like all of our young men are losing it right now. They're losing it. I mean, they've been losing it for some time, but they're losing it, and we need to get them back. Seriously. I was supposed to report on this my last show when I first seen it. And I wanted to get a little bit more detail on it. Obviously, he has been dismissed from the team. Head coach Kirby Smart already came out and said that, and basically was like, this is not what we want to continue to put up with, and that's understandable too. He is facing felony charges. Okay, so Georgia backup offensive lineman Nair Daniels is facing more than a dozen criminal charges, including 3 felonies, after he allegedly attempted to flee the police in Commerce, Georgia. This happened a Sunday ago. So on the this article was put out on the 23rd. So very, very recent here. So Daniels was a redshirt freshman from Newark, New Jersey, facing 2 felony counts of second-degree cruelty to children and 1 felony count of fleeing or attempting to elude a police officer. And these are according to the online jail record. So you can go ahead and look that up for yourself if you so choose. He faces 10 additional traffic violations in the manner of misdemeanors, including reckless driving and driving at maximum limits. Daniels was still being held at the Jackson County Jail in Jefferson, Georgia. A jailer confirmed the previous Sunday. He's probably out by now, but this article again came out on November the 23rd. And obviously, the initial statement that came from Georgia was that we are aware of the charges and are currently in the process of gathering additional information. This is a pending legal matter, and we will not have any further comment at this time. And that's obviously because they want to get it together. They want to see what's going on for whatever else is happening, right? Okay. And then it says a former top recruit at Bergen Catholic High in Oradell, New Jersey. Daniels played as a reserve in Georgia's win against Marshall. And, Austin, PA. I always mess that up. And then against Charlotte. And basically, it's just like, what is happening, bro? And obviously there's been like a less tolerance policy for it this year because the behavior has kind of gone down a little bit. Like you still have players, and again, like I said, a lot of it is like high speed traffic incidents and situations, right? Because back in March, um, they had a suspended player, Nitro Tuglin, and freshman offensive lineman Marquise Easley, after they were arrested in separate incidents about their high speed traffic violations. You're done. You're off the team. So they really starting the lockdown on it. Before it was like, oh, they can still be on the team, or they suspended for like a game or whatever. Like now it's like, no, you have to stop it. Like it has to stop. And I'm pretty sure somebody somewhere got on Kirby's line and was like, get it to figure it out. Figure it out. Right? But in this instance, there is a charge of cruelty against a child that makes it 10 times worse. And it obviously it didn't really go in too much into what that charge was, but we have to just stay tuned for it as it's going to continue to develop and progress over time. But it's like, it really pains me, honestly, when I see these athletes who are still very young, because again, I'm still asking and questioning, where is the family, the parents, how is that situation, how does it look, how is the family dynamic, all of those things, because those things are very much important, because trauma does manifest in a lot of different ways, and a lot of people just don't quite understand that. And, you have to be a person that either works in mental health or has some type of advocacy for mental health to really quite understand that. And again, I'm not excusing any of the behavior because all of the behavior is wrong and shall be dealt with accordingly. But there's always, well, not always, usually some type of underlying issue going on that needs to be addressed and it needs to be handled. And yes, they're athletes and they're football players, and they're living their life like it's golden and supposed to be going to these programs to live out their dreams. But when your traumas start to manifest in different ways within poor behavior, that needs to be addressed as well. And it pains me because they've worked so hard to get where they are and have a great grand opportunity. Georgia leads the NFL draft with 46 picks in like the first rounds of being an NFL draft, or 13 within the first round, whatever it is. They lead 46 NFL draft picks. So like this program is destined to get you to where you want to be and where you need to be, but your behavior has to meet it. You cannot just keep getting away with piss poor bad behavior. And it really sucks because he had so much ahead of him. You are a reserve, you're a top recruit, you're at Georgia, you got to play a little bit. More was definitely going to come, because that's one thing for certain, two things for sure. If you stay at Georgia and you earn your playing time, you're going to play. And then more than likely, you're going to make it on to the next level. Okay? But ruining his life right now over a dozen charges, it was no way that he was going to stay on the team once all of that came out. And it just sucks because, again, they work so hard to get there. And then when they get there and there is too much too fast, things just start to spiral out of control. And I don't think that people are actually seeing that until you have an incident like this where it happens and now he is in jail. And that's just not okay. Not okay. So that sucks for this young man, surely. And I really hope that he pulls it together. If he gets a second chance, he needs to pull it together. Seriously. Okay. We're going to cap off our college football by talking about Rivalry Week. Right now, games is popping off. Ole Miss has already secured their win against Mississippi State and will more than likely be going into the college football playoffs. So that's great. They're going to be 11-1, and Lane Kiffin is still leading the way and leading the charge there, even though they're still waiting on his decision to see if he's going to be coming back. That's like majority of the conversation today when they were talking about the Egg Bowl. It was talking about, Trinidad Chandler's, how he's going to, come back for another year because he wants to continue to develop and play more football before he gets to the next level, which I think is absolutely smart. And then they just kept talking about, well, Lane Kiffin. They're like, we know that Lane Kiffin has yet to give us a decision on where he's going to be and what he's going to do. Everybody knows that. I don't think that they needed to spend so much time on talking about it. But they did go in to say that Florida is starting to distance themselves away. They're starting to be like, okay, we understand. You're probably not the guy for us, and you're probably not going to pick or choose us. So therefore, we're going to go ahead and distance ourselves now. We're going to go ahead and just try to look in a different direction for another coach that can come and get this Gator program together, because Florida Gator football has been something that has been pretty darn good for quite some time. So not seeing them do so well is not really what a lot of people want to see, especially in the state of Florida. But that also means they're gonna have to find some people with some heavy coin purses and have them open it up for the NIL. Yeah, but I think though, and I've said this before, I think that if University of Florida is going to get them a coach, I definitely think that there's some options out there that are on the table, but I don't think that they need to be looking at taking, and this is going to sound really crazy because I'm about to say that they should take this coach, but I don't think that the whole thing of them looking for a coach, obviously their season is complete, But you are looking at trying to take a successful coach from one program within the SEC as if that was going to be easy. That was never going to be easy for them. I don't know why they thought about that. And I understand you want to get some type of SEC caliber coach that just understands the assignment. Obviously, everybody wants some type of Nick Saban coach under them. And right now, Lane is just the guy that everybody wants, or so most people think. But there's so many other coaches that are out there that is like open up your horizons, broaden your horizons just a little bit, right? I think that, and although they've kind of tanked some games here and there, I do think that the head coach at Memphis is somebody that at some point they're going to be knocking on his door because of what he's done with that program and how he's turned it around. Can he be SEC caliber? Maybe not. We don't know, right? We don't really know, but he's done great things for the program. And I say all that to say there are so many other coaches that are out there that could possibly be where you need them to be, who you want them to be, and that'll happily come and take a coaching job at Florida. But everybody like these big SEC schools trying to take other SEC coaches and everything and thinking that it's not going to be a dogfight is just absolutely crazy. You thought you was going into the dogfight and you was just going to be smooth sailing? You would just go up and leave Ole Miss? Come on now. That wasn't, you knew better than that. I do think, and I've said this time and time again, I think that Lane loves being at Ole Miss, but there's so much that's allegedly coming with that LSU bag outside of money. Just being able to have, more recruitment, having a really strong alum base that is there the entire way. You know, the storied history within that program has just always been something that's been successful. So I can see the sparkly eyes when it comes to taking an LSU job, because I mean, obviously, why you think Brian Kelly took the job? He saw the sparkles and the glitters and all the things that could be, and he was like, he's gonna go there, but he just misstepped. He mistook what exactly he was getting himself into. Okay, because LSU is not one of those just like programs you just get to walk up into and be mid and mediocre. That's not how that works. It's not how that works, right? And I don't think BK fully knew that before he stepped through those tiger doors. But I think that, I don't know. Part of me wants to see him stay at Ole Miss because, like, what he's built at Ole Miss and everything. And to me, watching the game, like, I see how connected he is just with the players and everything. But I said before, coaches have left before for the bag and for the glitz and the glamour, so we shall see. But they did say that there was not gonna be an announcement until after the Egg Bowls. The Egg Bowl is complete, so everybody is on the edge of their seats and twirl their thumbs and their fingers, and they're like, "Where's he gonna go? Where's he gonna go? Where's he gonna go?" It's like you would think that we're getting a new, like, I don't know, like they're treating it like it's like a new government official or something. I don't know. Like, I understand it's a big deal, but he's already a coach, so I mean, he could literally just stay where he at. And I said what Ole Miss needed to do. I don't know if they actually did it or not. Apparently they did. So I don't know. I don't know. Some people feel like LSU is not that much of a higher profile job for him to take it at this time. Some people feel like it should wait. Some people feel like the only other job that he actually would leave Ole Miss for is Alabama. And I don't know, the board seems to be pretty solid over there for now. So I don't know. Literally, we don't know, right? But other rivalry games going on this week: Ohio State and Michigan. We shall see what Michigan does. Michigan needs to pull one out. Ohio State is still sitting at the best team right now in the country. So that's going to be hard. I personally see it being a little bit competitive, but I don't foresee Michigan winning this year. I just don't. Alabama and Auburn, unless Auburn just wakes up and they took some Cam Newton type drug, I don't really see it happening. But the thing about rivalries and the thing about when you get to this weekend, it's like it's just all bets are off. Your records go out the door, out the window. Like, you just wake up to being a whole different other person. The crowds are different, the energy is different, everything is different. But I still don't necessarily see Auburn edging out Alabama. I just don't. I just don't. Again, unless they wake up and they're suddenly on that Cam Newton time. And they're on that Cam Newton time and they say, don't believe me, just watch, then maybe. Right? The same way I didn't foresee Mississippi State beating Ole Miss. I didn't see it. They started off competitive though. They started off, it was like a pump fake. Because they started off open in possession, touchdown, and after that, everything just seemed to go tanking downhill. Like, what is happening? What is we doing? So I think that could possibly happen, but majority of the football is going to be played and the decision is going to be made in the second half. The Georgia versus Georgia Tech game, which I had to turn off because for some reason when I got the TV on and I'm trying to stream, it just don't work out. Don't judge me, okay? Because I don't know, but I think Georgia can get the job done, but Georgia has to have they need to open up their explosive offense plays, but Georgia is a strong fourth quarter team. I think Georgia Tech. I haven't watched enough Georgia Tech football, really, 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 really. But I know one thing's for certain, two things for sure. The game is not over when it comes to Georgia until it's 0-0-0-0 on the clock, and then they are hoping that the dogs are on top. So Georgia plays balls to the wall. Excuse me, Lord, for saying that, but they play like that in the fourth quarter. And I've never seen nothing short of excellence when it comes to that in the fourth quarter. Y'all can argue with me if y'all want to, but y'all know it's true. Y'all know it's true. Okay? You know it's true. Georgia, I don't know what kind of drug they take in that fourth quarter or something, but baby, once that them fours go up, so does Georgia. So I think Georgia will get it done today. Another one that we have is who else is playing? Clemson versus South Carolina in the Palmetto Bowl. I think that South Carolina needs this win to basically like just seal off their season and like this just is what it is. Clemson is going to be moving on to a bowl game, so like they're going to live to play another day at a bowl game. And obviously, the Clemson fans are going to be super happy about that because they've made it to 6 wins no matter what the strength of schedule was, but they made it to those 6 wins. But South Carolina at this point is just not going to make it anywhere. So this final win at home could really just be a nice, solid, stamp on the season. Like, yeah, we kind of like we're down in the dumps. But at least we won the last game. My hair got stuck. At least we won the last game at home and we beat the Clemson Tigers, which is like, what really matters. Um, so yeah, I think if they show up the way they showed up against Alabama and Texas A&M fully, though, mark my word on that, fully, they can't just give it up in the fourth quarter. Because that's what they've been doing. Really, Texas A&M was the second half. I don't know what happened there. But Alabama was the fourth quarter. So if they can keep Lenora Sellers on track the entire game, they will win. If he starts doing too much scrambling around, if they change the play calls, if he can't run the ball like he usually run the ball, if he just throwing interceptions and stuff, they will lose. They will lose. They will. So I think if South Carolina can stay the course for the entire game, it's hard to play full 4 quarters of football, but hell, if they can at least play great second half football, they will win. They will win. Okay? But yeah, they don't be trying to change the play calls after halftime and get fancy and no, 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 no. Trust your quarterback. Let him do what he's been doing. Let him do all the things that people loved about him and was so ecstatic about him. Let him do it. Okay? Just let him do it. But tell him don't run out of bounds on the fourth down. Don't do that. Okay? But I think that came from them trying to change the play calls and trying to, spruce it up. They don't need no sprucing if they're trying to win. Clemson just has to show up and be ready. They have to just show up and be ready. That's it. That's all. So that game's going to be good because both, are really, they're not fighting for anything. So sometimes when you're not fighting for anything, you get a lot of things. So we shall see. Who else is Notre Dame is playing somebody. Is it USC? No. What other games? What other good rivalry games are there? Um Okay, fourth quarter, 5 minutes left. Georgia is up 16-6, up by 10. Okay, I'm getting over here because oh, Tennessee and Vandy, that's another good one. Joey Aguilar is trying to get an extra year of eligibility so he can come back and he wants to play another year. And obviously, like, there was that thing that happened, him and his multiple schools and all that. I do think that he could benefit from another year, honestly. We have the Vandy quarterback, Pavio. He's on the Heisman watch or whatever. I'm not a huge fan. I'm not a huge fan. I'm not a huge fan. I don't know why. I'm just not. But he's a great quarterback. The things that they have done with Vandy is just absolutely insane. They've also just extended the head coach over there, I believe, into 2031. So he's going to be there for some time. What they've done with that football program is just absolutely absurdly elite. And I think that they're, getting into contentions and everything. And it's crazy. Like, not Nashville, Tennessee now has like two really good staple football programs in the state. So that's exciting. I think that's exciting when you have like more than one, like, school. It's exciting or whatever. Texas and Texas A&M. I think that's gonna be a really good game. Arch Manning gonna go out there and do his thing. I just really feel like he needed to put some meat on his bones. Like, he needed to eat some cabbage and neck bones, and like he just needs to get a little bit bigger. Drink some chocolate milk. I just feel like he's so frail. But that could just be my opinion. I do think he's frail though. I do want to see what Reed does in this game, to see if he can turn it around and bounce back, because that horrible first half he had against South Carolina, I don't ever want to see that type of football ever again. Ever again. Okay? Purdue and Indiana. Okay. UCLA and USC. some of these rivalries, like last year, they were so, to me, I think they were so much closer, and like, ooh, these are hard to pick, and good, but it's gonna be a good watch. Yeah. Okay. Arizona State versus the University of Arizona. Um, Florida versus Florida State. That right there is going to be the battle of, they just like Clemson and Carolina. Washington and Oregon. Louisville and the University of Kentucky. That's going to be a good one. That's going to be a good one. Okay, that's going to be a good one. They have that really fast player over there at University of Kentucky. Where's number one? His name is drawing a blank in my head. But they have him. Louisville is definitely a roller coaster. They don't know if they're going to be up or down or all around. So that one's going to be a really good game there. That one's going to be good. I will definitely watch that. Um, what's another? I think Virginia Tech versus UVA. I think that's going to be a good game, especially because like spirits are high and everything. Obviously, since they have James Franklin, obviously coming in for the next season. So I think they're just like trying to lock it in, and I just think that Virginia football is just going to be super duper good. It's going to be good for everyone, and those are the main games. I mean, there's some other ones on here that are like, okay, like Wisconsin and Minnesota, like, okay. I think they'll be better. They will be better than I'm probably like thinking they will be. But when we look at like the classic historic rivalry games, those the ones that I just listed are the ones. And hopefully somebody shakes something up. Somebody somewhere on this list is going to shake something up, and I'm praying it is not Vandy in Tennessee jail. Praying. Okay, Okay, are the Gators going to win? We already know that Ole Miss won. Georgia's on the way to winning. It could be Purdue and Indiana. Oh, it could be them. I don't know, y'all, but that's what I had to talk about for Rivalry Weekend. I had to throw my little football updates in there as well. Okay, I don't know what's going on with my little curl. Whatever. Okay. Um. Next week I'm gonna have me a co-host on here. I can't wait. I can't wait. We got some really good topics for my co-host next week. Okay. Daniel Jones is facing criticism. People are skeptical. Oh, is he going back to the old Daniel Jones? Listen, 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 listen. Okay. He's been playing great. His offensive coordinator said he's consistent. He's doing everything that he's supposed to do, everything that he needs to do. They backing him on 10. But did you know that Daniel Jones is also suffering through a fractured fibula, and he's been trying to play through it. He want to play. He want to start, and all that. And it makes me nervous because it's like, what if it like goes from fractured to completely broken? Because you want to go out there and play. And to me, that just shows either one or two things. Either he's really, really dedicated to this Colts team. He really wants them to win. He really wants this to work out. And he really just, cares about his starting position, which leads me into the second part of him caring about his starting position to the point where he's like, I'm not trying to lose my spot. I worked really hard to get here. I'm not trying to lose my spot, but I'm also not trying to lose my incentive money either. Because every game that he wins, he gets $100,000 additional. So that could be that too. But I do think that he wants to do, I feel like this is his time where he can like rewrite the stories about him and rewrite all of the doubt. I feel like there's still going to be a lot of doubt and skepticism, and people are still going to be like, Daniel Jones sucks, he's trash, blah, blah, blah. Like, I feel like that's still going to be there because of what they've seen from him in New York. But I was always cautious of that because I just know the type of issues and troubles that people in New York are going through. They're like, come on. They didn't been through 3 quarterbacks already. We just got to November football. So, Jackson Dart will be back, but, whatever. So, cautionary with that, but I also feel like he's just trying to, like, rewrite his own history and rewrite his own story and, showing his dedication to the team where he's going to go out there on a fractured tibia or fibula and, like, try to make it work. Going out there and doing his thing. But I can only imagine how painful that is, and you're trying to go out there and throw passes and make sure they're accurate and all that stuff, and you in a lot of pain out there. My golly. So give him a little break. Just give him a little break, okay? Because he want to go out there and he want to play. But overall, I mean, there was 2 games where they obviously the offense seemed to collapse a little bit when they played against the Chiefs and they lost in overtime by 3 points. And then when they had the 5 turnovers against Pittsburgh. And in retrospect, although Pittsburgh defense has not been the Pittsburgh defense, that everybody's so used to, they still are the Pittsburgh defense. They still got those moving weapons over there, and they did what Pittsburgh does. Created the turnovers, and at that time Pittsburgh kind of needed the up and up, so they had a point to prove, and Daniel Jones was the point that they proved. So not really holding him against that enough. He had 5 turnovers when they were playing like the Texans, the Jaguars. If he was playing the Cardinals and he had the 5 then I'll be looking through some binoculars like, Daniel, what's going on, right? But 5 turnovers against Pittsburgh. Okay. We can be okay. We still looking at it. We still judging it, but not as harshly, right? I mean, again, not saying it's acceptable. We're not saying that, but we're just saying you have to look at the caliber of some of these teams. Losing in overtime to the Chiefs, come on, to the Chiefs. And although the Chiefs are sitting at 6-6 right now, they're still the Kansas City Chiefs. And that offensive line that he has, sometimes it be folding. It be folding, quicker than a lawn chair with a body that's too big for it. Okay? I've watched and I said, I don't know what's going on with that O-line. It looking scary to me, and not in a good way. So I think they gotta figure a little bit of something out. But I still think that for the most part, he's shown up and he's been this player, this elite player. And I mean, 2 games where where he hasn't had the absolute best game. And I don't even want to say that the Kansas City game was like all on him. I think that was an offensive effort. But 2 games so far, I don't know. I'm not skeptical yet. Now, if they get to like 5 losses, okay, then we have something more to talk about. But I don't know. I think that's because I just want him to have that second chance with another team and like getting into a system. And I've been going to bat for him since preseason. So I'm not going. I'm not going to take it away now. I'm a double down on him. You know, we standing with you, Indiana Jones. We standing with you. Okay, at least I am, because I would look like a fool if I do that. If I start bashing you now when I've been saying I think that you fit right into that cult system. So that's just me. Y'all can think what y'all want. Y'all can tell me what y'all think, but I'm just saying I'm not skeptical yet. Not yet. Mm-mm. Not yet. I think these next couple games we'll actually see what we need to see out of him. And if he can play on that fracture that he has. He's crazy. He's real crazy about that. Okay. I have 2 more on here and I'm gonna hop myself off because I want to watch the Texas game. So Mr. Shedeur has upset the critics once again. Okay, the kid can't win for losing. He wins, he still loses. He loses, he never wins. Okay, but he has been named the starter for week 13, deservingly so. Went out there, rookie, winning the first ever like NFL career start with the Cleveland Browns, being the 42nd quarterback for the Cleveland Browns, going out there and winning. Dylan is out of concussion protocol, but that would have been, and excuse my language, Lord, hell to pay had Dylan came back in there and started over Shedeur after what he's shown after 1 week, one solid week of practice and being with the ones. And I love the fact that his team is rallying around him. They're saying, keep being you, keep doing you, keep throwing the ball, keep being, you having your personality, do what you need to do. This is what we've been looking for. This is what we've been waiting for. They like it. They're embracing him. And I think that really boils some people's blood on the inside, because they want him to be so unlikable and they want him to be somebody that the team just like doesn't respect and doesn't want to be there. And unfortunately, they have eyes like we have eyes, and they've seen that he has been treated unfairly in a lot of situations when it in regards to him. So the team is behind him. The team is standing with him. I knew that he had the team when Myles Garrett came out and was talking about him. When Myles Garrett was staying after practice and working with him, when he would go up to Myles and say, "Hey, can you work with me?" And Myles was like, I know you don't want me to tackle you. I know you don't want me to do that. But what do you need me to do? Who do you need me to be in order to help you succeed?" And there's videos out here, so I'm not just making that up. There's videos out there of them having conversations and things, and they're showing the relationships. The relationship that he has with the GM, and seeing how he hugged him and embraced him after that win and all that. So he is very much liked. And I think that with the proper, treatment and the proper like development, I'm not going to say treatment so much, the proper development, I think that he can be an all-star quarterback. I really do. I think that he can do and be great, right? And obviously, no matter what he does, he's going to have some critics with everything. So I'm not going to talk about, the post-game conversation, the post-game quotes and all of that stuff, because people can cut, splice, manipulate, AI it up to give it and to make it be whatever it is. I seen the full clips of the videos. I think he was very much on a, I had to do a better job with this. I'm so happy with this. Our team is doing great with that. We're so happy to see the boys out there. So happy to see the fans, all that other stuff. So I think he's just doing great in that retrospect. But now he's really pissed people off because he was asked about President Donald Trump being a fan of him, because he did tweet out to him and saying like he told y'all that he was elite and he was great and all those things. And, he basically thanked the president for one. And he was saying like he's been a supporter for some time, and I appreciate him taking time out of his day to even say anything about me. Do you know how special you got to be to have any type of president, the president of the United States? Are you crazy? Any president take time out of their day to even if who cares if he tweeted it is up or not? Who cares about any of that? To taking time out of your day to give me a little bit of praise and boost when everybody else is tearing me down around me. Not everybody. Some people. Right? Are we crazy? Are we crazy? I don't care what president it is. If a president, what president, government official, judge, hell, the mayor, anybody, right, comes out and gives a compliment and shows support for somebody, how are y'all mad at him for that? Come on, y'all. Come on. Come on. Priorities is not in the right place. Priorities is not in the right place. He was asked about it. He gave his response. That was it. That was it. How are we upset about this? How are we now mad? Y'all got y'all panties in a bunch that much? Come on, y'all. Come on. We gotta do better than that. And like I said, I don't care which type of who it is. That's a big moment. That's a big moment. Coming off of your very first win and you really having to prove to yourself and prove to people that you can play and who you are and standing up for yourself and having someone congratulate you who's the face of the free world. I think that's just such a huge moment that it shouldn't come on, we can't find negativity in that. And listen, you may hate me for saying it, and I just did. I said what I said. I think that was an amazing moment for him. And no matter what he do, no answer is ever going to be the correct answer for people who just simply don't like and support him. So it doesn't matter. It really didn't matter what he said. Honestly, he could have just said thank you, and even that would have been a problem. So, whatever. I just think that he needs to stay focused on going against the 49ers because the 49ers are starting to get back in their groove and they're starting to figure it out and all that stuff. And he needs to be able to get on that field and present his best self again. He needs to be able to do it all over again and hopefully get the win. And even if he doesn't get the win, or if the Cleveland Browns don't get the win, at least put up numbers, try not to have any interceptions and things. So that way the new narrative coming out for the week is not, oh, he threw an interception. It's he didn't throw any interceptions and he had 3 touchdowns on the day. Whatever, so be it. Okay. And Myles Garrett has a mouse on a reach. So we're going to be looking out for that too, because he is going to get it. And I think it's going to be super duper amazing once he get it. And yes, I am a TJ Watt fan, but I'm also a Myles Garrett fan because I'm a defensive girly and I love all things defense. And I think what he's doing is historical. It's amazing. It's just like mind blowing. Like, yeah, defensive player of the year is loading again. So that's just my thing. Last topic on my list for tonight is the Madrid soccer team. So when I first seen this, I was like, what in the world is happening? So they have been fined. And I let me see how much it is in American money. Because I think it's in pounds. Or is it euros? Let me see. Let me go back to the thing. Yeah. So they were fined 30,000 euros for their fans' racist behavior at and during games. And they, the soccer league is just like they're starting to have a no tolerance policy for it. They're like, no. If your fans are going to travel and do this type of stuff and be this disrespectful and be this disregarding, you're going to suffer the consequences of it because they are your fans and your supporting base, and you need to get it under control. Now, granted, I understand where they are coming from because that is unacceptable on all terms. But it's also like, well, how do they force their fan base to not do those things, to not say the slurs, to not act in a way that's just vulgar and unacceptable? How do you force these grown people? I mean, do you ban them? You ban them for not coming, or they can't travel to games and all that? But that's also kind of like, well, when you buy a ticket, is not asking you what fan you are, and if they do ask you what fan you are, you can then lie. And I guess at that point, if you lie and you get in and you do unacceptable behavior, you can be put out. But that's still just like, that's just a lot of work. So I do want to know, and I really want to figure out, like, how are they going to solve this issue and this problem, because it is absolutely unacceptable. Like, that's not okay. And the behavior happened at the Champion League's game at Arsenal. And let's see, just give you more details. Oh, so the Atletico Madrid was fined and put on probation by UEFA on Thursday, so yesterday, as punishment for racist behavior by fans at the Champions League game against Arsenal. They have been charged with racist and or discriminatory behavior for fans making monkey noises and Nazi salutes at a 4-0 loss in London. Fans of the Madrid team have previously targeted Real Madrid forward um, V Jr., who is black, with similar racial abuse. They did the fine in euros, which is about $35,000 in USD, and ordered a 1 game ban on selling tickets to fans for a European away game, which was deferred for 1 year of probation. So instead of them doing the 1 game ban, they took the 1 year of probation. And then it says they must also pay a fine of 10,000 euros, which is $11,600, for fans throwing objects at the stadium. So they need to get all of the fans, they need to get all of the fans in a stadium. And when they get them in that stadium, they need to get on that mic and they need to get them together. They need to get them together. If the behavior is not a representation, and they haven't put out a statement yet from what I can see, but if the behavior is not a representation of your organization, it needs to be nipped in the bud. It needs to be obviously, like, it needs to just be like, that's just clearly unacceptable. We will not allow this from our fans, and it's completely unacceptable. And again, yeah, they need to do that, but I don't know how else they kind of just like stop the behavior from happening. And it sucks because I'm pretty sure it's not all of them. It's a specific bunch that are acting out that need to be dealt with. So maybe that too. Find who these fans are, ban them for however long. If they're on a 1 year ban, you're on a 1 year ban. You're out here doing this unacceptable behavior. But think about soccer. There's so many people and fans. They're like, oh my gosh, they have to really do an investigation or something. I don't know how they completely fix this problem, but I do look forward to seeing how they do fix this problem, because it's definitely a problem for sure. For sure. Unacceptable. So they're going to pay that money. That money is nothing to them. They should have probably been, I guess they couldn't fine them too much because it wasn't the players actually doing it. It was the fans. I don't know, but that money is nothing to them. They're going to pay that fine and they're going to go on and move on about their business. But I do think that they need to have all the fans come to a stadium meeting, and they need to have a meeting. We need to wrap it up. Wrap it up, Madrid. Okay? Unacceptable. But that is all I have for you guys tonight. I'm going to go now and watch the game. I'm actually rooting for Marcel Reed in Texas A&M. I am. We're doing horns down, right? But no, seriously, I actually like I like him. I like Reed. I like what they've been doing with their program. I think it's just like absolutely amazing. Like this, they've come out of like nowhere. And they probably haven't come out of nowhere. I just probably haven't like fully paid attention. But they just turn things around for this season. Like them, Indiana, like being on top and having having these good seasons and so much success. So I am really rooting for them. I want to see how they do. I want to see how they play. So I'm gonna get off of here and we're gonna do those things. Thank you so much for being a part of the show, being a part of the crew. For you to support, please go ahead and like the video, subscribe. That subscribe button is my friend and is your friend too. Make sure you're liking, sharing, and commenting, and being a part of all of my social media platforms at PT Love Sports, or you can just type in Pretty Girls Love Sports. Please remember that the Playmakers Press will be coming back out starting, because you had to skip for the holiday, but it will be starting next week on Tuesday. It is free. It's a digital newspaper. You can go to prettygirlsmedia.com, scroll to the bottom, and type in your email address to become pressed to get the free Playmakers Pressed in your inboxes, all of my articles and freelance writing. I will also be starting investigative journalism for sports. So I'm going to make the Playmakers Press more of my journalistic investigative journalistic work. So you'll be able to see like stories that you actually don't see on the day in and day out, because I'm going to actually be digging through some things and really presenting it to the world so I can have a place where I can actually do my investigative writing. So please go ahead and get attached while it is still free. And if you want to come on the show, if you want me to come on your show, if you want to host or anything like that, please go ahead and hit me up at thedesirella@gmail.com. As always, I love you guys for tuning in, and I will see y'all on the next one, which will likely be on Tuesday, unless I get myself up on here on Sunday. But anyway,